Hello, welcome back to part 6 of module 2 for Windows PowerShell course. So far, quick recap to what we have covered. Module 1, getting started with Windows PowerShell. Module 2, introduction to Windows PowerShell. And we have covered 5 parts. Today is part 6 and the last. After that, we will dive into module 3 all the way down to module 11. That should be around overview for the objects and variables, pipeline and formatting, data structure and export import, PowerShell script and functions, then remoting, WMI, AD, Exchange, SQL. With module 2, we have few topics we have covered so far, and these as follow: command, split, tab expansion, aliases, history, and profile. Previous session was security. Today will be around provider. With the provider, we will talk a little bit about the execution policy, just a little bit about how we can design the code, and then we take it from there. Now, setting the execution policy to all signed means the only script that have been signed by the trust certificate will run. Any script that are not signed will not be run. To sign a script, create a variable that holds the certificate with the code signing attribute. PK and certificate are out of our training for today, but we might cover them at another series. Once the certificate is installed on the local machine, it could be assigned to a variable with a code similar to the following: $cert equal directory cert hyphen code design recurs. You can then use the set authenticator signature space file path file name certificate as well equal to certificate. What is exactly happening here when we do the code signing? This adds a hash to the end of the script file. This hash is made up from the code in the script and the certificate. Therefore, if the code in the script is modified, the script will no longer run and must be re-signed. Let me just clarify this again. What we are doing by code signing, this adds hash to the end of the script file. The hash is made up from the code in the script plus the certificate. Therefore, any changes or modification to the script will no longer run, which prevent the script from running, which means you need to reassign again. Hopefully this is clear. Next, command precedence. In case there are two commands with the same name, the following rules apply. Full path, aliases, functions, commandlet, native Windows. Examples: script.ps1, directory.ps1, get-content, aliases, directory, listing, getting content, ipconfig, functions, some functions, directory, getting child, item, getting content, getting process, and the last will be native Windows command, net nltest, and ipconfig. If you would like to learn more, you can run get-help about underscore command precedence. PowerShell CMD interaction. Calling a PowerShell script or CMDlet, which is we call it commandslet, from a DOS or other environment is pretty much like calling a VP script. You can see the example below. PowerShell hyphen no profile hyphen command test connection, computer name and local host, and I get the IP associated with the local host itself. Stopping parsing operator v3 and above. PowerShell v3 introduces the new operators. Stop the PowerShell parsers. We don't match codes. We don't stop at a semicolon. We do not expand PowerShell variables, and we do not expand environment variables as well. And you can see the examples below. Providers, PS providers and PS drives. Providers, uniform, various data types. Data is exposed as PS drives. Expose data in a familiar and consistent way. Following commands are targeting providers: items, item property, PS drive, content location. Get-PS drive, list all the PS drives, new -PS drives, create a new PS drives, remove, which will remove the drives. Now, Windows PowerShell provider are Microsoft.NET Framework based programs that makes all the data and the specialized data store available in Windows PowerShell so that you can view and manage it. The data that a provider exposes appears in a drive, and you can access the data in the disk drive itself. You can use any of the built-in command that provides support to manage data in the provider drive. Windows PowerShell includes a set of built-in providers that you can use to access different types of data store. Example, provider and data store. Aliases, Windows PowerShell. Aliases, certificate, cert 509 for digital signature. Environment, Windows environment variable. File system drive, directories and file. Functions, like a function within PowerShell. Reg key, like Windows registry. Variables, Windows variables. WSMan, which is WS management configuration information, and the file system drive vary on each basic system. Also, you can create your own Windows PowerShell provider, and you can install provider that other develop work on to list all the provider, get-providers. Okay. Windows PowerShell providers are delivered to you in Windows PowerShell Snap-in, again, which are .NET Framework based programs that are compiled into DLL files. The snapping can include provider and commandlets. Before you use the provider feature, you have to install the snapping and add to your Windows PowerShell session. Next, PowerShell provider provide easy access to components and data. It is consistent format for accessing. Access is like a file system. You can list available provider by running get-ps provider. You can run help for ps provider, get-help about _providers. You can see the example get-ps drive and list all the drive associated with it. Dependency, PS snapping or module, core security product related. The PS drive provider object and PS drive object. PS provider object, aliases, file system, environment, function, registry, variable, certificate AD. PS drive aliases, CDE, environment functions, local, users or computer, reg, and cert and AD. Commands create, modify, and remove data and provider. Go verb, clear, copy, get, invoke, move, new, remove, rename, set. So with my noun, I've got my child item, which is get-child item. And then items plus item properties, clear-item, clear-item property, copy-item, copy-item property, get-item, get-item property. And same apply to invoke, which is there's no properties, but move hyphen item property, new, remove, rename, set. And you can search, in the registry. Get hyphen child item hyphen path HKCU recurs include PowerShell. Get the first element in the local registry keys for the computer PS drives. $key equal get hyphen child item path HKCU pipet select object first one, reading the reg, getting properties, inserting new key, and inserting modifying keys as well. Now that's all what I had for you for today, and it was part 6. A quick recap: we spoke about signing codes with certificate, internal PKI we need, and all it is doing currently basically is hashing and using the code signature. Any modification to the code, which means the script will not run, and you need to reassign it. Then we spoke about the command precedence, and in case there are two commands with the same name, we spoke about the sequence. Then we move toward calling PowerShell scripts or commands from those or other environments, pretty much like calling a VP script. Then we moved on to stop parsing operators. Well, that was a new introduction, PowerShell v3 introduced a new operator, and that was around stop the PowerShell parsers. We do not match codes, we do not stop at the semicolon, we do not expand PowerShell variables, and we do not expand environmental variables if you use cmd.exe. Then we moved on to the PS providers and PS drives. Providers uniform a various data type. Data is exposed as a PS drivers, and we mentioned some of the commands are targeting providers like items, item property, PS drive, content, location, and path. And then we said providers, easy access to components and data, and it is consistent format, and it does access file system. And then we spoke about dependency between providers and PS drives, and either core, security, or product related. So security will be certificate across both the PS providers and PS drives. Product related, which will be AD, and then the core we spoke about aliases and functions and variables. And then we move towards invoking, clearing, getting child items, and the items property and the item associated with it, either clear, invoke, create, or discover. That's all what I had for you for today, and it was the last part of the introduction. Hopefully you have learned something useful, and I shall see you at the next module, which is part 3. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.